violations of voter-approved ballot. Call for 313 police compared to 279 today, and that the city has funded, and 256 firefighters compared to 204 today. There is a Nevada Attorney General opinion that relates directly to this. I did give a copy to the city attorney, deputy city attorney, and to the clerk. I want to read just one sentence out of that. Quote, "For the number of police officers funded by sources other than the revenue received under the Act must be at least the same number of officers as were funded or supported prior to the time the Act became effective." So I think that's pretty clear that once some act or a ballot measure passes, you have a floor that you can only use that money above and beyond that floor. Second of all, I want to address an issue the public and you may not know about. At the Financial Advisory Board, the Reno's Financial Advisory Board, they directed at their October meeting, which I believe is going to be noon, October 2nd, they want an action item on the agenda to discuss recommending state takeover and declaration of severe financial emergency. In other words, they heard the budget. After hearing the budget, that was their recommendation and request. These are our non-elected financial experts that you personally have appointed. They have requested some legal opinions on these issues, and the last I heard, the city has dragged their feet on getting them those opinions. They need these legal opinions to make the best decisions possible, and they also need to be left alone to do their job without manager or city council interference. And I predict right now that there will be that interference, and they'll somehow find a way to take that off the agenda. I do want to read into the record item R3, city ballot measure for more firefighters from 1996, as I discussed the legal opinion. Shall the city council of the city of Reno be authorized to levy an ad valorem property tax at the rate to be determined each year by the city council, not to exceed 7.15 cents per $100 of assessed value for the period commencing fiscal year 1988 for the purpose of improving fire protection in the city by hiring additional firefighting personnel and providing facilities and equipment therefore, and the cost of operation and maintenance therefore." And that did pass, and we are now below that level. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Sam Dene.
Sam Dene, the Encyclopedia of Reno Government, and for those who've been living in a cave for the last 20 years, I'm an Air Force Academy graduate. I spent many years flying fighters and bombers, defending our nation, and for the last 20 years, I've been at virtually every single city council meeting. And I was going through my YouTube videos of my presentation at this same meeting last year, and very little has changed. A few things have changed. The media, if anything, is more dysfunctional and pathetic. The media mouses are more dysfunctional and pathetic than they've ever been. Therefore, they need to be dismantled, and I'm working on that night and day. The vote-stealing traitors are still in control, as proven by the most recent thing called an election. And by the way, I want the acting chief of police over there to go out there right now and please tow those illegally parked vehicles. There's about 8 vehicles out there parked in the red. She's nodding her head in the fire department. As a matter of fact, the fire chief should be looking at it too. We've got great big vehicles unmanned in the fire department. Nice comeback. Anyway, you see what I put up with. I have to pay to come down here, and these media mouses get to park for free. What is with that, Mr. Mayor? Yeah, she liked that chortle over there. Let's see, what else is bad? Oh, yeah, and they gave me a copy of my favorite fiction novel right here. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Burning Man. Do you know who I am? I'm the fellow who single-handedly saved Burning Man. In 2003, the media mouses and the city, not so much the city hall, but the county commission was hell-bent to get those people away from our city. They used every filthy word they could find in their thesaurus to describe those people, talking about when they come to town, you got to hide your mothers and fathers and children in the basement because you don't know what's going to happen. Sam Dene, unilaterally, all of my own, went to those meetings and told the county commission to reverse their vote, and they did. Now Burning Man is here. Sam saved Burning Man, and it gets headlines every day. Where were you people back then? Where was the media mouses then? They were trying to get rid of Burning Man. Sam saved Burning Man. By the way, Sam never gets credit for anything he does. As a matter of fact, I was watching the mayor on my YouTube, and I don't want to let him know that it bothers me because it doesn't really, but I think it's not dignified for a mayor to say that. After I sit down, 1 out of 10 times, the mayor says, "Now you see what I've had to put up with the last 11 years. Me. Put up, he should be proud that I'm here. Proud that I'm here pointing out all the problems in the community. If I wasn't here, this community would even be more bankrupt than it really is. Oh, darn it all, I was going to be Mr. Nice Guy. I see the media, and it churns my stomach."
I would like to correct one thing, Mr. Dene. I did not say 11 years. I said 12 years.
Last year it was 11.
No. Last week it was 12,
Last
not
week.
11.
I was looking at the YouTubes
Never
from
mind,
last
you
year,
can
and I
sit
saw
down
you
now.
do that, and then it was 11 years. I saw you say 12 last week.
Okay, well, I just wanted you to be correct.
I was correct.
Now, you people do understand what we have to put up with. Thank you, Mr. Dene. You ought to get a haircut. Anyway, I'm gonna close the public comment section. Wait, whoops, I think maybe I have one more. No, I'm gonna close the public comment section. I want to thank all of you for being here. I appreciate it very much on behalf of the City Council. Appreciate you being here to hear the State of the City address. And I'm going to be turning this over in a little bit to our City Manager, Andrew Klinger. But first, I'd like to recognize a few people that are in the office. Mark Johnson, the President of the University. Mark, welcome. Mike Kurzmiski of EDON. I butcher his name every time. I wish you'd get an easier name, Smith or something, Mike. So I want Lynn Stevens, the Chamber. Welcome, Lynn. Chris Baum from the Reno Sparks Convention Authority. Welcome. Craig Borland from DRI. That's all, Craig. Where's Craig? Stick your hand up, Craig. I know you're back there. And John Slaughter, the County Manager. I think he's here to see if I know where he is. I think he's here to see if we're broke. These mics, I can't say anything now with these mics. But anyway, I really appreciate it. Who? Oh, nobody told me. Where's Mary Lee? Hi, Mary Lee. Thank you. She brings all of our customers to town. And appreciate y'all very much. Well, today we're going to give you a snapshot of where we are and where we're going over the next year. And what's really going to happen next. You're going to see where we've made changes, where we've made improvements, and where we're going in the future. I'd also like to acknowledge how much of an honor it's been for me to serve as your mayor for 12 years. I've had the choice in working with great city council people, with a great city manager, and with a great staff. The people in Reno can be very proud of the employees they have in this city, because we have some of the best, the most dedicated people I've ever worked with in 12 years. And I've run several large corporations, and I put these people in the top ranks of all of those corporations that I've run. And it's been a great honor and a lot of fun. I also want to wish the future mayor and city councilmen the best going forward. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our city manager. Mr. Klinger, if you'll step right out there closer to the people so they can get you. Excuse me, that's not the right terminology. But we're going to sit here behind your back, and you should be nervous. But we're going to turn it over to you, sir, and you can bring everybody up to date where we are.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, Mayor and Council. Mayor, you stole my joke. I was going to say I'm nervous having my back to the mayor today, but we're going to proceed anyway. Good morning, citizens and community leaders. Thank you for being here today or tuning in for the 2014 City of Reno State of the City Address. We invite you to participate in the conversation by using hashtag #SOTCReno on social media. It's been a year of solid achievements and progress for the City of Reno. But before we get into the accomplishments, I'd like to talk about where we're at today and address some of the challenges we face as an organization. Let's begin by giving you a financial overview. For fiscal year 2015, the City of Reno's general fund expenditures are $170 million. Public safety is one of our top priorities, as 68% of our funding is allocated to the police and fire departments. The remaining 32% is distributed to departments such as Parks and Recreation, Municipal Courts, Public Works, and others. The City Council originally adopted a budget in May, struck an appropriate balance between fiscal stability and providing essential public services. However, our course was altered in late June when the District Court issued a ruling that prohibited the City from moving forward with layoffs that were previously authorized by the City Council. The City of Reno has appealed the District Court's decision to the Nevada Supreme Court. In anticipation that these legal proceedings may take several months to resolve, the City Council approved a plan in July to reallocate nearly $2 million to fund 21 firefighter positions for the rest of this fiscal year. While these budget balancing measures have addressed the problem in the short term, we recognize that they are not sustainable in the long run. Although these recent developments have redirected our budget process, a primary goal remains long-term financial health for this organization. For starters, we're paying off $3.7 million in City Hall debt, which frees up over $1 million annually in our general fund. This year, we have budgeted to increase the general fund balance, and we are projecting to reach 7% by the end of this fiscal year. We aim to achieve an 8.3% ending fund balance, which constitutes 1 month's worth of expenses. The City continues to plan for a solid financial future. As for the City revenues, we are projecting $170 million for the next fiscal year. Two of our major sources of revenue come from consolidated tax and property tax. Consolidated tax is made up primarily of sales tax. These two revenue streams together account for 53% of our income. The City's property tax revenue has stabilized at $43.9 million, the same as it was the previous fiscal year. Consolidated tax is trending upward at $47.7 million. However, it is important to note that we remain well below 2008 levels when the general fund revenues peaked at more than $180 million. The City's assessed valuation stands at $6.3 billion, a 7.7% rise over the prior year. Reno's stock is on the rise, a positive sign that we're climbing out of one of the worst recessions in our region's history. In addition, Reno's population has increased every year since 2010 and is estimated by the state demographer to be more than 232,000 residents. We're also seeing an increase in visitors. Washoe County greeted more than 4.5 million tourists in 2013, up significantly from 2011 levels. To give further context, with reduced resources, we are providing services to a larger population. Another indicator of positive growth is a declining regional unemployment rate. Reno recently recorded annual job growth of 3.6%, adding more than 7,000 new jobs. Of those additional jobs, 2,000 were in the construction sector. July 2014 numbers showed an unemployment rate of 7.3% in Reno and Sparks, a decrease from our peak in 2010 of 13%. In conjunction with the Economic Development Authority of Western Nevada, economic development continues to be a top priority for the City of Reno. Businesses ranging from Fortune 500 companies to emerging entrepreneurs continue to pinpoint Reno as an economically competitive choice for companies looking to start up, expand, or to relocate. Single-family home sales are more promising than they've been since 2009, now averaging 60 sales per month. Our own City of Reno building data is also reflective of a healthy economy. The city issued permits for nearly 700 single-family homes last year, up 55% from the previous year and the most since 2008. Washoe County's K-12 graduation and educational statistics compare favorably to national standards. A study earlier this year by the Buckley Education Groups showed that Washoe County ranked 15th in the nation for college readiness and 12th for AP test takers. These successes are also evident in our higher education institutions. The University of Nevada recorded a record number of more than 3,700 graduates last year. Its Complete College America program will add even more skilled professionals to our local workforce. Already recognized as a Tier 1 university by U.S. News and World Report, the university is projected to be ahead of its goal to grow to 22,000 students by 2021. Truckee Meadows Community College's curriculum supports local industries by creating unique programs that meet the needs of local employers and our region's evolving workforce. In summary, our economy is recovering, our population is growing, our educational options are exceptional, and residential and commercial building are trending upward. However, our future is not without its challenges. For starters, we carry what many would consider to be significant bond debt at more than $500 million. It's important to make the distinction that less than 25% of our debt is a burden on the city's general fund. The majority of the debt is funded by dedicated revenue sources that exist solely for the purpose of paying down that debt. Further, our overall debt levels have decreased dramatically since 2009. In an effort to continue to improve our general fund debt position, we're using a portion of one-time funds to pay off $1.2 million in golf course bonds and $3.7 million in City Hall debt. We've also made efforts to restructure our bond portfolio. These measures result in long-term savings of $4.3 million to the general fund and $1.5 million to the street fund. These are steps in the right direction, and we will continue to analyze and restructure our debt as appropriate. In addition, retiree health benefits, commonly referred to as OPEB. This represents a $210 million unfunded liability. Currently, we use a pay-as-you-go model, which only pays for actual yearly expenses and puts nothing aside to satisfy this long-term cost. However, this year we've established an OPEB trust fund and budgeted $4.3 million towards this significant expenditure. But we're still well under our current annual required contribution of $17.6 million. Further, our workers' compensation liability, primarily for heart and lung benefits, sits at $39 million. This is another area of critical need that we need to address in future budgets. We must have the cooperation of our collective bargaining groups to achieve these long-term solutions. Cooperation and compromise will be important factors in solving these fiscal stability problems as a public organization. Deferred maintenance is another area of great concern. For example, some of our city parks are in desperate need of repairs and revitalization. Unfortunately, expenditures are outpacing revenues and threatening our ability to properly maintain our assets. Along with deferred maintenance, we have an aging infrastructure with our downtown as a primary example. We're actively working with our regional partners on this, such as participating with the university and the Regional Transportation Commission in a collaborative planning initiative. The university's new master plan will cover future development of the campus, its connection to downtown, and the supporting transportation infrastructure. Part of the revitalization of downtown includes caring for our homeless citizens. the City of Reno has worked with the City of Sparks, Washoe County, and Volunteers of America since 2008 to operate the Community Assistance Center shelters. Together, we're focused on assisting people in recovery from homelessness. In the last year, we formed a task force of the government agencies that fund the shelters to evaluate their operations and make recommendations about programs and services that will support recovery. A task force has also proven successful in tackling another important issue, citywide graffiti. More than a year ago, a number of Reno citizens and property and business owners approached the City Council to express their concern that graffiti in our community had reached a tipping point. The proliferation of graffiti prompted the Council to form a citizens task force to examine graffiti issues in our community. The City will embark on implementing the task force recommendations in the upcoming fiscal year. These are some of the serious issues that we face as a city and why it's important that we work together to plan our future. These challenges demand real solutions with a shared vision based on the collaborative spirit in our community today. I am confident we will get there. Now I'd like to share with you just a few of the successes over the past fiscal year in relation to the 4 council priorities, which are to promote a sustainable and vibrant economy, provide efficient and responsive city services, provide safe and livable neighborhoods, and enhance communication and community engagement. Creating and promoting a sustainable and vibrant economy has been a key City of Reno priority since 2010. The city has pursued initiatives to make our community more business-friendly, diverse, and attractive for economic development. First, in support of the startup sector, the city piloted a new financing program this year called the Reno Accelerator Fund. Through an allocation of $200,000 from the Community Development Block Grant funding, 8 promising startups were funded $20,000 each, with an additional 8 startups to receive awards in the near future. We also facilitated disbursement of the state catalyst funds to local businesses Garlock Printing and Lincoln Cutting Systems. Next, the City of Reno is proud of its commitment to arts, culture, and special events. We believe that a strong public art and events program spurs economic development and enhances our neighborhood identities. Earlier this year, Council approved the allocation of nearly $200,000 to 40 nonprofit or arts organizations and unanimously approved changes to the Reno Municipal Code that protects artisans' First Amendment rights. In addition, the City Council approved the allocation of more than $275,000 to 35 special events. Another council priority is to provide efficient and responsive city services. We have continued to explore process improvements that will allow us to provide high-quality services to our constituents along with cost-saving efficiencies. One example is that the city strategically transferred the operational responsibilities of Rosewood Lakes Golf Course by leasing the course to First Tee of Northern Nevada, a local nonprofit organization. The partnership relieves the city of some of the annual financial burden of operating the course and provides an affordable golf experience geared toward youth and seniors. Transitioning the course to First Tee is projected to save the City of Reno approximately $694,000 annually. We recently initiated concentrated efforts to simplify the permit process, making it more friendly and supportive by adding weekend and expedited inspections and extending the daily hours of the permitting office from 6 to 9 hours. Earlier this year, we took the additional step of reducing permitting fees in the areas of planning and engineering to be more competitive regionally. The city's current budget includes an important core services analysis to identify efficiencies in our Parks and Recreation and Public Works departments. With the results of the analysis, we will recommend efficiencies in operational areas such as staffing and data-driven models of service delivery. Finally, in a collaborative effort with Washoe County and the City of Sparks, We are currently in the process of introducing a new regional online permit review system that will make it easier to obtain or renew a business license. A third council priority is to provide safe and livable neighborhoods. In addition to police and fire services, we recognize that well-maintained streets, a vibrant downtown, public art, parks, and recreational services are important to our constituents. In response to a community survey conducted in 2013, the city recently began a new Downtown Pride program, a public-private partnership. The program is focused on improving downtown by working with property owners to enhance its physical appearance. In collaboration with High Sierra Industries, a local workforce development organization, the city is instituting a Walk and Clean program. Continuing on downtown improvements, residents and visitors will be further protected by an expanded police special assessment district. We've also implemented police walking patrol operations with an emphasis on community interaction. The creation of a community safety and service team has resulted in a reduction of calls for service and improved quality of life in the downtown corridor. Through another public-private partnership, the city opened a new fire station in Damani Ranch, replacing a temporary station strategically located in South Reno. Private investment paid for a majority of the project, built the station, and donated the land. Therefore, of the $3.1 million total cost of the project, the city's general fund contribution is a mere 17%. The fourth council priority is to enhance communication and community engagement. We recognize that we would not be able to broadcast our message, nor would we be able to receive your valuable feedback without a strong communications plan. In December of 2013, the City of Reno unveiled a redesigned website. The change furthers the effort to put Reno on the map as one of the most innovative and citizen-focused cities in the nation. A City of Reno app was developed for the on-the-go citizen who desires instant information about their local government. The city has also ramped up its efforts on social media, all in an effort to stay ahead of the communication demands of the modern era. You may recall that we recently introduced the Think Reno campaign to provide a more convenient way for citizens to share their ideas with the City of Reno. To date, hundreds of users have shared their ideas with us at reno.gov/thinkreno or by attending one of our Think Reno forums. One popular idea submission was to strengthen the connection between the university and the downtown. In support of that idea, the city leased a downtown building to the university for the opening of the new Innovation Center. The center establishes a bridge for collaboration involving the university, its faculty and students, business and industry, and economic development organizations. In tandem, it will contribute to the vibrancy of downtown and further the college town concept by connecting the university to downtown and to midtown. Let me emphasize that we've accomplished all of these things with less resources and staff. At one point in 2009, the City of Reno employed more than 1,600 people. Now we employ just less than 1,100. To put that into perspective, in 5 years, we've seen a reduction of nearly 1/3 of our workforce. In spite of the resource challenges, the City of Reno continues to deliver our core services. Last year, dispatch answered more than 400,000 911 calls. The Reno Police Department responded on scene to 125,000 calls, and the Reno Fire Department responded to 37,000 calls. Parks and Recreation continues to maintain 2,500 acres of parks, and Public Works serves 680 miles of road. In summary, the economic downturn required us to decrease our staffing levels substantially while continuing to provide these core services. I recognize that our staff continues to demonstrate their ability to be innovative, effective, and accountable, and I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize our City of Reno employees for all they do to make Reno a great city. Thank you. While it's easy to focus on the present, we are equally excited for the future. We will continue to make innovative improvements that create an environment that attracts and retains technology-based companies to do business in the biggest little city. The City of Reno is looking forward to initiating some important new projects and programs. For one, we will be breaking ground on the Virginia Street Bridge replacement after 15 years of extensive community outreach and planning. Its construction will require approximately 12 to 18 months to complete, and its design will improve walkability and flood prevention. We are excited at the prospect of kicking off Think Reno 2035, the start of our community-based master planning process that will help identify our collective vision and update the City of Reno's strategic plan for the next 20 years. Now that the city and the region are on the path to recovery and economic growth, we will seek community-wide input to ensure we achieve the best and brightest future for our citizens. In another collaborative effort, Reno's 2013 Smarter Cities Challenge Grant Award from IBM has evolved into the 2014 Smarter Region effort. 11 private and public entities have partnered to gather information that will be used to frame our region's new economic development identity. Regional elected policymakers will gather at the next Smarter Region workshop on October 15th to chart the course for that new identity. Those are just a few of the factors that illustrate a bright future ahead for Reno and the rest of the region. In conclusion, we are already a great city, and we will keep it that way through groundbreaking innovation, smart and efficient government, and regional collaboration. We continue to gain attention on a national level. That's why we're showing up on lists such as Best Places to Live, Most Entrepreneurial Metropolitan Area, America's Coolest River Walks, and Best National Universities. The annual report, our companion piece to this presentation, is also available. Everyone in the audience should have a copy, and you can also download it at reno.gov/annual report. Thank you again for being here today or for tuning in. Although we have some challenging days ahead, I believe our future is promising. The City Council, myself, and the rest of the City of Reno employees will continue to work with our regional partners and our residents to make Reno an even greater city. Thank you.
If you have any questions or anything, there's a microphone over here. You can step over and address any questions you have. Do we have any public comment cards? Okay. Do you have a question, Mr. Dene?
I'm responding to the public comment card there.
You didn't fill one out, but that's okay.
But she had it over there.
Okay, she's got it there. That'll be fine. Go ahead, sir.
Dan Dene, the Encyclopedia of Reno Government. And, you know, I ended on a sour note with the mayor over there, Mr. Mayor Cashel, on the semi-sour note, and him saying, well, it was 2011 and 2012. And I don't mind being corrected if I'm wrong on something. But anyway, we were both right. We'll put it like that. At any rate, what we have here is my discussion. Oh, we're on public comment or presentation to the state of the city?
Public comment.
Oh, okay, public comment. I swear, if you didn't watch that, ladies and gentlemen, you asked if anybody had any comments about the presentation. I don't want to nitpick, but there's a whole big difference of getting three. You see what I put up for 20 years. There's a difference between my getting 3 minutes, and my 3 minutes are as important as his 40 minutes. At any rate, I should be speaking on D up there because that's the way he addressed it. Anyway, so now I'm at public comment down to a measly 2 minutes. Virtually everything good in this magazine, this fiction novel, was either Sam's idea or Sam was the driving force. I've been to more meetings than all of you people here added together and multiplied by 50. I know, that's why and he's smiling. He knows it. He's saying, thank God he's only thinking there's only about 50 more to go, and he's out of here, and Mr. Pezzanelli or that other lady over there might have to take their place. One of them, at any rate, I was responsible. I was the driving force for many of the good things in this book going back further I was the driving force for, as I told you, for Burning Man's success. I was the driving force for that kayak park out there. I was the only one who came to the podiums, told them to do it. The driving force for the kayak course. The driving force for the kids museum, and apparently this new thing that the UNR's putting in over there. I was a driving force for actually saving the Air National Guard, because if they'd gotten those F-16 planes they wanted, they would be long gone. I ordered them to get C-130s. Washington gave them C-130s, and they're still out there, and they've got a vital mission. I saved 300 jobs, maybe 600 jobs. I could go on and on about my successes, and nobody ever challenges them, at least not to my face. The bad things in this magazine here, ladies and gentlemen, I warned them against. I warned them against over and over again. Buying this building here, $50 million. Now they're even admitting that there's another $3.7 million that they call, whatever they call it, they camouflage it. Now the building apparently is paid off. If they had never bought this building in the beginning, they would have $50 million or more in the coffers, have a perfectly good, that old City Hall building would hold everybody here. Last but not least, my new venture is to be the poster child for Tesla Motors to bring their battery factory to Reno. I am the poster child, the only one who has gone publicly to say anything about it. And if that Mr. Musk has any, well, he does have brains. Mr. Musk is going to come here because he wants honest government, and he knows Sam Dene will make sure the government is honest in Reno, and we'll have our battery factory right here in Reno, thanks to Sam Dene being the driving force.
Thank you. Mr. Church?
Once again, Jeffrey Church, Reno resident. A couple just quick comments. I want to commend Mr. Klinger and the City Council for all their efforts to make things better, and it is going well. I do want to point out, however, that one of the consultants you hired, Jeremy Aguero, and it's all on the record in discussing our $210 million in OPEB debt, stated that we're going to be broke by 2016. So everything we do may be for naught unless we bring the labor costs and these OPEBs under control. His quote was 2016, if not before. So we have to address that. And one final comment, when I mentioned the ballot measure R3, which of course losing that could be disastrous, but still we have to obey the law. Ms. Breckus did request at the last City Council that that be placed on the agenda. She requested it twice during that council, so I hope we see that on the agenda soon. Thank you.
Mr. Church, I think will be on next meeting.
Okay, I have no other public comment. Motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Have a second. All in favor say aye. Those that oppose, no. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you all very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this morning. Thank you.